Take two of this video. Man, let's try and see if I can get through it today at all. Take one was a disaster. I am having some coffee. Hopefully that'll also help. But man, I've just had the weirdest afternoon filled with tech disasters. Nothing is working right. So, take two on this. We are going to talk about budgeting, business budgets, and prioritizing your funds. I keep hearing funny noises. A minute ago, which totally threw me off, and that's why I'm starting all over, was water coming out of my shower. Nobody's taken a shower this morning. And I'm like, something just moved, and I'm the only one home. What is happening? I realize it is close to Halloween, and weird things do happen around my house anyway. All right, let's try to get through this. I'm going to show you my actual budget, which is the crazy part about this. Let me go ahead and spin you around here. And we are just going to share the whole desktop because then I don't have to worry about you not being able to see. Okay, so here we are. This is my actual budget. Now I have a couple of things to show you if I can get in here without the menu popping down. This is the sample budget that I've got going on here. There's a lot of things in here, but and it's pretty neat. And I've just plopped some numbers in there in order to be able to put together some formulas for you. And I will share this with you. Obviously, if you are working out of your home, you have a home office or home office area that you usually work out of, whether it's the kitchen table or downstairs in your basement in a chair kind of thing, you'll want to measure out those spaces. And if you are currently paying a fee for that space, whatever that is, let's say you use 10% of your square footage, grand. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Let's say you use 10% of your square footage as your office space. And let's say, just for easy math, that your mortgage is $1,000. Well, that'd be great. You will take $100 because $100 is 10% of 1,000. But the thing about that is, and then you would take 10% of whatever the water bill is, 10% of the electric bill, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The tricky part is that you physically have to write that check out of your business bank account in order to write those things off on your taxes. And one thing that you want to do on your business budget is basically plan for your taxes and also plan for your just the year in general, so you can kind of figure out what you need to be making in your business as far as to run the business. We're also going to talk about personal budgets as well, and so that'll be something that we talk about. However, I did want to mention that this is a sample budget. I've got some extra stuff in here that I thought might be there. You could always delete these. When you go in here, what I need you to do is come up here, and you'll be able to pull this up by the link. And then I need you to go down. Don't start editing mine. You won't be able to anyway. It'll tell you that it's view only. So you'll go into File and click Make a Copy. And it will allow you to copy it, and then you can go in and do whatever you need to do for yours. And then you can always just add, go down here and go here and add a sheet. Or duplicate this one, since you already have some things in there, you can duplicate it, and then there you go. Mine looks a little skimpy right now. So there's a couple of things on here that I have that I don't need, and I had gone in and deleted them and then realized I don't need. I probably should have waited to talk to you about that because it goes into prioritizing funds. I've been paying for QuickBooks for the last couple of months, and quite frankly, I don't need to. I don't invoice out of QuickBooks. I don't do payments out of QuickBooks. I don't track mileage or anything crazy like that, and I have no employees or 1099 people. I can do my accounting, the accounting that I actually need. I can do it in Wave, which is a very similar program. It functions very similarly, but it's free. So obviously there are a number of different programs. QuickBooks is one, Wave is another, FreshBooks if you are a creative entrepreneur, that's what that's designed for. I will say that FreshBooks is really limited as far as how many people that you can actually have as clients in there. And that is a little disturbing to me. So in QuickBooks, there's no limit, and it's pretty much, it's cheaper. And let's see what else. So FreshBooks, Wave, QuickBooks. You could also try Xero. Xero is really pricey though. And then Sage Accounting. They changed their name. That's not. It used to be Peachtree, but now it's Sage something or other. Sage 50, I think. Anyway, it's a really robust program. I started out doing all my accounting work on Sage, and it's great. I would highly recommend it. So that's what my dad uses, and he's an accountant, and I worked for him. So that is why, so I'm going to cancel this basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in here and delete that row, and it's going to change I have all this set up, so it's going to change this amount. So I hadn't changed this in here, but I had bumped my podcast hosting up to $15 a month, and then I just dropped it back down because I had a couple of weeks where I was really rambling and punching out content like 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm just not doing that at the moment. As I try to get my medications figured out, and I'm exhausted. Coming off, for those who don't know, I have fibromyalgia, so I don't have a confirmed diagnosis yet, but I'm in the process of that, and that's what they're saying this is. And so I am coming off of a 2-week flare, and I'm exhausted, and nothing is helping. So I'm hoping that something starts to turn around pretty quickly. I have a business email account, and so that's what this is for. I use G Suite. I will go ahead and put a link in the description below for that because I really love it. I feel like it's a really good program. However, if you are not to the point where you need to spend $7 a month, there are other options. If you run out of like Google Drive space, there are options to increase your Google Drive amounts and it's cheaper than the email. However, that being said, I really love it, and I would not change it. It would be one of the last things that I would get rid of. My bank fees, this is just an estimate based on what I know. I know that all of my payments are coming from either Square or PayPal, and that's where my invoicing is done. And I know what they both charge, so I did like an average between the two, and then I put it in here based on what I hope to make for the year, kind of thing. So that's what I would do. I would not fill this in until you get to the end and then play with it until you get where you need to be. So currently, it turns out there is no charge for this. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this row just because I can get the business license for free. If I'm reading it right. I may have to add that back in later, but we'll see. I'm really sorry for the glare on my glasses. I can't see this stuff without them. So if you're seeing that and it's annoying you, I'm really, really sorry. Business insurance, I have that, so I've got to keep that. And the only thing I'm not really doing is buying clothes at the moment. So at least not with my income that I'm bringing in. Okay. So now that I've taken all of that stuff out, now we are in here. Okay. I am going to need to adjust some of these things because I'm going to have more URLs and some of them are going to drop off. So I've got to figure that all out. And then that stays, that sticks. Okay. And then we won't worry about all of this until a little bit later. I'm going to show you my personal budget. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that I haven't touched this thing in a while, and I need to come back in and kind of clean it up and just condense it a little bit. I've already started that process because down here under, oh, it went all the way back. Okay, then. That's good to know. Ugh. I undid a couple of things on the business budget, and apparently it took this back too. So we're going to call this vehicle. I guess that's good because then you can see me doing this. Vehicle expense. And then we are going to put $4,000 in this account. And then we can get rid of random car issues and tires and alignment. I am not currently paying for a gym membership, and I won't need to be. Yeah, that's it. So delete those 3 rows, and this vacation one, that wouldn't even be enough to fly us to Illinois and get a car. So we need to bump that up if we want to go anywhere that's not an hour drive from here, which is the case. All right, so here's what that looks like. And the other thing that I did was take all this out. We're just going to delete this whole column because I'm going to come back in here and fix this. Okay. So, and mine are not in business. We're just gonna, yeah, I've really got to come in here and clean this back up. So currently I have this set to where the marketplace, I'm paying the actual cost of the insurance, not any kind of discount, which I'm currently not because we make enough to get some help, or we make little enough to get some help. I don't know how that works. Anyway, and this is $215 now, which I need to get fixed also. And this is wrong also. So anyway, you just want to come in. The basics of this is that you want to come in and you want to say, okay, how much are we going to pay for food and groceries and gas for the cars for 3 people? And I think that we could probably, with gas for the cars, I feel like that's where we get the $700 because my husband drives 45 minutes to work every day and an hour home. So there's a little more there for that. And the rest of this stuff is pretty accurate as of right now. And, you know, like we're not actually paying $200 for our phones, but when I decide to get a new phone, we will be back up to at least that, if not a little bit more. So if you can kind of plan for these things to happen in advance, then you're not having to adjust so much on the back end. And then you can figure out, okay, well, if all things considered, you know, this particular fund, this vehicle expense, ooh, not 40,000, sheesh. I wonder, that's crazy. Okay. And then let's say we need to get it to $4,000 and we need to keep it there. So get save to that, and then save and maintain is what we're going to call it. Okay. So save and maintain. And what that means is that you are going to save any excess money that you have you're going to put into this savings account for vehicle expenses, because it'll have its own account. And so if you can manage to put $83 in there, you need to put at least $83 a month in there. And we're going to put that in. Hopefully we get there in 2 years, right? So we're going to put a per year cost of $2,000. And then once you've got it in there, literally it's about maintaining that. So if you have a brake job that you need done, you'll pull money out of this account, and then you're going to save until you get back there. And then that money can go elsewhere. If you want to just continuously put it into that account, or you can take that money and put it into your vacation account, whatever you need to do. As far as prioritizing funds, I think that this comes back to what is the bare minimum that you need in order to maintain a business? And for me, I was paying for email marketing and realized that I was not sending emails out very often, and that email marketing was not giving me a return on my investment. And did I want to either buckle down and really try to increase my email marketing and get the ROI, or did I just want to let it go for a little while, do it on something that's free and still does a very similar thing and maybe limited in a couple of different minor ways, and still do what I needed to do, right? And so that's what I did, and it was really, honestly, it was okay. It was not bad at all. I haven't missed paying for it, to be honest with you. And from there, it's just a matter of what is the bare minimum that you can survive with. And that's kind of what it looks like. So what I would do personally, if I were you, I would sit down and write these out by hand and then type them up in a spreadsheet. That's what I did. And for some reason, sorry, time to go get my kiddo. For some reason, that worked a lot better in my little brain. And then what you can do, like, is you could see up here, I bought like a bulk plan when I bought my URL. When I bought my hosting, I bought 3 years worth of hosting because it was ridiculously cheap. And I thought, okay, well, I can spend $120 for 3 years, or I can spend 36 or whatever it was, and then have to pay $140 for a year. So it was just like a no-brainer. I went ahead and did that. And I have a love-hate relationship currently with my web host. We'll talk about that at another time on another video. But what I can tell you is that the more you kind of dig in and figure out what's the best way to do it, the better off you are. And over time, you're going to figure stuff out, and you're going to play and figure out what works and what doesn't. And that's really the key, is figuring out what works for you currently at your current state of business. Is it worth it to just pay for it and then worry about it on the back end later, or do you need to think about it a little bit up front? Currently putting together an ebook for tools and systems that I think are worth looking into and worth using, and what they're used for. I currently have, I will show you, I have a copy. I created this checklist for you. It's a five-page checklist. It goes through everything that you could possibly need when you're first starting out. Nice big type, and there are a number of really specific categories that we work within. Client management, communications, workflow management, content management, website management, and social media management. And then within those categories, there's different things that you'll need in order to have a business. This is just your checklist. I'm currently working on writing the actual ebook that has the recommendations. So quite frankly, you'll need both. This particular item right now is completely and totally free. I will leave a link for you to be able to get this item for free if you would like it. I guess I should have showed you that when I wasn't sharing my screen. All right, so what do you need for your business right now? And it's going to help you figure out exactly which systems and tools you need and which categories that you need them in. For instance, I'll give you one for within communications. You need something for email marketing. Do you need to pay for it? That's really up to you, and it's a personal decision based on all the other things that you have to pay for. Okay. You need a payment processor. So where are you, and you need something to invoice. So which programs are you going to use for that? Are you going to use multiple programs so that people can pay with their credit card and or their PayPal? How are you going to do that? And which payment processor is the best and why? All of these things are going to be in that ebook that I create. So that is in the works right now. I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be a great tool, especially as you're building your budget, to really kind of compare and contrast as far as what pricing is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's really, really going to be a great, great tool for everyone who has a business, and especially service providers. So I've got to go get my little guy. He's going to be waiting on me. And I wish you all a great day, and I will talk to you on the next video. See ya. Bye.